Three, two, one.
We Gatherin, a year-long celebration of Barbadian heritage, unity and progress, continues to inspire conversations across the nation. As this transformative initiative unfolds, each parish will take center stage, showcasing its people, culture, history and economic potential. I'm Joshua Hinkson. Thanks for joining us. This episode will focus on the final activities in St. Lucie at the end of January, while also highlighting and looking forward to the exciting plans for St. Peter. But first, we begin with Director of the We Gatherin Secretariat, Senator John King, who recently spoke on Q100.7 FM's Let's Talk About It, emphasizing the program's significance for the Barbadian economy. Senator King, along with Senator the Reverend Charles Morris, highlighted how this initiative is not merely a cultural celebration, but also a strategic driver of investment, tourism and national development, connecting Barbadians at home and abroad in a powerful way.
Let's start by looking at what We Gathering is all about, because I think oftentimes people are only seeing it as events and activities that are happening, and you think it's just this big celebration. It's a lot more than that. I think I would have mentioned in other places, We Gathering seeks to do a number of things. One is to bring our communities back together, something which we have seen the old community spirit eroded over time. And so We Gathering aims to bring that back by basically encouraging, as you will see what's happening with the parish organizing committees, giving the people in the communities the opportunity to get back into developing things, developing their own programs, developing their own ideas about how they want to see their parish go and actually be the ones who contribute to it. So that's one of the things. You're also talking economics. As you would know, after COVID, there was a lot of shutdown. Things are gradually coming back, but also you need a catalyst that will help things to get to where they need to be a little bit quicker, especially on the very local level. And so our shop owners, our vendors, our different persons, they have an opportunity to benefit from all of the activity that is going on. And we've seen that already. So for instance, a lot of the stuff that has happened in St. Lucie already, one of the things that I do always is to go around to vendors just to get a sense of where they're at. And 99.9% of the time, they're so thankful. Persons even sold out on so many occasions. They themselves are quarreling with themselves, saying, well, they should have bring more things, they should have do more. But these things would happen because, again, everyone is coming out of a period where things were really, really slow and people are going to be cautious. But I would say to them, as we move forward and you pay attention to the excitement that is on the ground and the way how people feel about We Gathering, you would then be able to tailor how you come out with your goods and the other things to suit. So that's another component. There's sustainable goals that we have. And so also this helps us to get to those goals. So for instance, if you talk about food security, people are doing things like planting trees and doing other things, but we're encouraging people to look, you know what, don't just plant trees that are for, let's say, ornamental value. Food is important. And so you have projects that are coming out already where people are themselves, not guided by the secretary or anybody else, but persons in communities who have said to me, you know, Senator King, we know that there are certain fruits that you don't see much of in Barbados anymore. And we are going to take on that mantle to plant those things. So you hear people talking about things that Tanya Edders. It is the older people. Now, I don't know if you young guys know anything about them.
Not a clue.
And pulping and all this kind of talk coming up now, where people are saying we're going to do this. One interesting one that really hit me hard was one person just out of the blue in one of the forums we were in on the weekend said he was interested in bringing back the grapefruit because he knows that the grapefruit was actually founded here in Barbados. And so these are the types of things that are coming out as you go across. But all people seem to be focused on are you know, the activities that have the food and fetting and things, but there's a lot more going on as you can read.
But what I've noticed is that as they go along, there are people who are coming up with ideas and they are fitting them in. Even though we may have a program for, say, for St. Peter, that does not mean that if anybody has another idea, and you'll be surprised, I'm sure you're surprised at some of the things that people are coming up with, even during the month. So it is more than just, you know, the perception that it is out there just for entertainment.
No, it's
it is
not.
that.
So the message is that Gathering is more than just events. There are a number of other initiatives that people can get involved in, and it doesn't mean that it has to come through the Secretariat. We're encouraging you as proud Barbadians to do these things on your own. So you can get your groups together to volunteer, to paint a school, paint a church, fix an old person's home who you know is in need of who has problems and is in need of help. These are the kind of things that we're pushing, because all of it is part and parcel of building a better, stronger, more resilient Barbados. And the beauty about it is whenever we work together, there is absolutely nothing that we can't accomplish.
Celebrating our people and their contribution to nation building is very important. The heart and soul of Barbados lie in the dedication, resilience, and contributions of its people who work tirelessly to uplift their communities and shape the nation's future. From educators and entrepreneurs to volunteers and cultural ambassadors, Barbadians continue to embody the spirit of excellence and national pride. Their efforts, often unsung, are the foundation upon which this nation continues to build. In celebration of this spirit, 10 outstanding individuals from St. Lucie were recently honored with Pride of Barbados Awards during a ceremony at State House, where President Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason and Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley commended their unwavering commitment to service and their role in strengthening the fabric of Barbadian society.
I'm sure that everybody here is very proud of the Barbadians who have been selfless in their dedication. And it seems as if it's only to their parish, but I'm sure it's to all of Barbados, because whatever you do in your parish will necessarily redound to the benefit of all. I noticed that everybody in St. Lucie named Phillips on the fifth. And I don't pay you for that, because all of St. Philip will be missed. I'm sure our Prime Minister will want to join me in congratulating all of you.
President, first of all, let me thank you for affording us the opportunity for the conferment of these awards on these distinguished citizens of the parish of St. Lucie. When we conceptualized the Gatherin, we recognized that this country will only be strong if our communities are strong, and our communities will only be strong if our families are strong. And therefore, we felt that we wanted to bring everyone back to be able to reconnect and to pause and to understand the things that truly matter in life. When 2020 was therefore taken from us because of the pandemic, we committed that we wanted to be able to have this not as a one-off event, but as a periodic event. And while I may not be here in 2030 or 2035 in this position, I would want to hope that what we are doing today will allow Barbadians to be able to come together every 5 years and pause as families, pause as strong communities, pause as a parish, to be able to reflect on what we do each and every day. Those of you who are here constitute a group of people who, through decades and through various communities, have enhanced the lives of others in St. Lucie. And because you have been nominated by your peers, your parishioners, we come today to say thank you for your efforts. I'm sure that when you were working during the fields, during the pitches, nobody was thinking of a reward. When you were working with young people, nobody was thinking of a reward. When you were working at St. Lucie School, secondary school as it then was, No Darrell Jordan, nobody was thinking of a reward or an award. And the bottom line is that while you didn't think about it, we have a duty as a nation and as a community to stop and to say thank you. And that is what today is about. So to each of you and to your families who have been the ones who have borne the sacrifice very often when you have been out doing these other things, we say simply thank you and God bless.
Amidst the celebrations, Prime Minister Maudsley also addressed claims that the We Gathering initiative is merely a political stunt ahead of an election, offering a firm response to critics, as filed in this report by my colleague Wendy Burke.
Claims We Gathering is an election mode initiative have been rubbished by the Prime Minister. She was speaking at State House, where 10 sons and daughters of St. Lucie received awards. Prime Minister Mia Motley says the economy is doing well and unemployment is down, but the focus is on getting the basics right.
At estimates this week, we've now committed to the last tranche of 31 buses. So between the 59 that we have, the 30 that are coming from the Chinese, and the 31 that we're buying, we believe that we'll put the Transport Board, along with the private operators, on a solid footing to be able to give good service to Bajans. We've bought a number of garbage trucks. They're probably, and in order for us to go back to 2 collections a week, I'm told that there's a last tranche that we will have to buy at some point in the next few months. Once we do that, we will start to look and see what will put things back there.
Ms. Motley says education and health are also on the front burner.
How are we continuing to strengthen the improvements that we put at the hospital? How are we continuing to ensure that the polyclinic system works better? In education reform, we've started a lot of the work there already. We just have to talk to the country now about the decision on the transfer mechanism. But we have increased significantly the training and the numbers available in there. So I am comfortable with where we are, but I'm not completed with what we have to do. And if we have work to do, then I am not in any need for us to go and have the conversation inside behind that door. At this point in time, let us stay focused. It is other people's business to want to speculate, to want to conjecture, to want to do all kinds of things. But I regrettably don't have that luxury. I have to stay focused on delivering for the people of the country.
Member of Parliament for St. Lucie, Peter Phillips, says the 10 awardees have been very valuable to the parish.
There were years that they worked, I know them personally, and there were years that they worked hard and they gave of their best. I can say that without any shadow of a doubt. They gave of their best and they loved their jobs. They loved their respective jobs in terms of helping. I was able to call on them when there were issues, even during the course of the COVID pandemic, when I was able to call on them at any point in time. And I believe today is a culmination of all the effort that they have put in, and they have benefited not just St. Lucie, they have benefited Barbados, and I want to truly congratulate them on achieving this award. It's an honor to work, and it's an honor to work on behalf of your country.
Trevor Boyce, Valis Cadogan, Fiona Griffith, Hugh Griffith, Ian Griffith, Ronte Johnson Anias, Patricia Norville, Lyman Phillips, Ramarian Phillips, and Derek Toppin were presented with honours by President Dame the Most Honourable Sandra Mason. Some of them spoke about the award.
I do a lot of community work in St. Lucie and across Barbados. Community is me, it's my heart, it's my passion.
I hope that we could continue to get people in St. Lucie who are going to be active in the community, who are going to look after programs, and that next time around we should have more people involved in this exercise.
I'm the curator at the Lawrence Cricket Ground by the Ignatius Bay Primary School. I've been doing that for the last 32 years, which is mostly voluntary work that I've been doing there. I've had the likes of like Kima Roach, who has passed through my hands there at the ground. I feel so honored, despite that I'm not a person who adores the spotlight. But I feel very honored to be here today.
In this way, it's truly humbling, it's honorable. To recognize by your country, I think it's a moment of immense pride, and as well to be recognized by your parish. So right now, emotions are overwhelming, and I feel really honored to have this award.
I guess you're surprised that you received this distinction.
It was, I really don't know who nominated me, truthfully, but it was for the work throughout the pandemic and also post-pandemic, making sure the neighbors are okay, any medical emergencies that popped up in the community, taking care of those, calling the ambulance. So again, persons are watching, they don't always say thanks or they don't always say it in the moment, but clearly they're appreciative of what I've done.
But the important thing is what happened here today. Any good society is really measured by how it treats to its people. And on this occasion, as the Prime Minister mentioned, we had the opportunity to salute and to honor persons who have given selflessly to St. Lucie for many, many years. And I want to personally thank them for their contributions, but I also want to use this as an opportunity to encourage others across the nation to see these as an example and do whatever you can to contribute not only to your parish but to your country. We get ready for St. Peter. They have a very exciting calendar coming up. I won't talk too much about it to spoil it for people, but all I will say to them is look out for St. Peter. The friendly rivalry is on between the parishes. So if St. Lucie has been this great, we expect St. Peter to step it up a notch. So I look forward to seeing all of Barbados out there and getting involved with Gatherin 2025.
It is always important to celebrate our people, not only for their contributions to society, but also for their role in shaping a sustainable future for Barbados. As a small island developing state, Barbados remains particularly vulnerable to climate change, coastal erosion, and environmental degradation. That's why protecting our surroundings and preserving our biodiversity are not just environmental concerns, but national priorities, essential to the well-being of present and future generations. With this in mind, the Clean and Green Initiative, in collaboration with the Gatherin Secretariat, commenced the beautification of an open area at Hope Road in alignment with the national movement. Minister of Environment and National Beautification Adrian Ford, along with Parliamentary Representative for the area Peter Phillips, highlighted the significance of this effort, emphasizing the need for collective responsibility in maintaining a cleaner, greener Barbados.
As I breathe the fresh air and enjoy the rustic view of St. Lucie, I'm minded that the gathering exercise is not only about the gathering of people. It's not only about the congregation of living souls as well. And to me, as Minister of the Environment, it's be a gathering of environmental consciousness. And when I say so, I want every single Barbadian to understand the ideals as it relates to how I perceive us gathering. The gathering of equal scene as it relates to how we conserve biodiversity. That is an important gathering for me. The gathering of the collective hands that will plant the million and more trees across Barbados to help with our green campuses. That is an important gathering to me. The gathering that will speak from the little child, those in the dawn of their years, to those in the toilet, the elderly, when they are going to come collectively in one voice to say to Barbadians, illegal dumping must now become a thing of the past. That is the social control gathering that I am appealing to in Barbados. So, as we gather, let us all gather with a spirit to protect our ecosystems, to protect that which will serve to mitigate and resist and allow us to adapt to the vagaries of climate change and the natural disasters that we face in our country. So I'm making a special appeal to Barbadians to help us to preserve our biodiversity as we know it, enhance our tree planting exercise by coming on board, and of course, stop the illegal dumping and pollution. So as we gather, let us also gather with an equal maxim that cleanliness is next to godliness. And this must be the as well.
I am indeed thrilled to be here. I personally want to thank you because you have indicated to me for sometime towards the end of last year that we were coming to St. Lucie to launch another regathering project for us. I'm extremely grateful. I look forward in the next coming weeks to seeing this particular spot here at Boat Road develop, and it will serve a dual purpose. You have the younger ones, the younger generation, the children coming up now who will be able to utilize this facility. And then you have those in their golden years from the district hospital just to our right that will be able to come up and sit down and relax and enjoy the beautiful scenery.
This initiative reflects the ongoing commitment to environmental sustainability, ensuring that as Barbadians come together to celebrate their heritage, they are also safeguarding their natural surroundings. The energy in St. Lucie was electric as the community of Checker Hall played host to a vibrant queue in the community, bringing people together for a day of music, laughter, and Bajan culture. Patrons danced to the infectious rhythms of soca and calypso, their movements reflecting the joy and unity that define Barbadian gatherings. Friends and families mingled, sharing stories and hearty laughter as the irresistible aroma of local delicacies filled the air. With drinks in hand and spirits high, attendees embraced the true essence of queuing the community, a celebration of togetherness, tradition, and the unbreakable spirit of St. Lucie. The following day, well more so night, the celebrations in St. Lucie culminated as the northernmost parish passed the baton to St. Peter during a handing over event at Sharad's Bar and Grill. My colleague Anesta Henry filed a report of the night's activities.
Everything did not always go according to plan, but St. Lucie did a commendable job hosting the first lap of the Gatherin 2025. That's according to Member of Parliament Peter Phillips, who led a series of activities in that parish to commemorate the national initiative designed to bring Barbadians in the diaspora home and to foster a spirit of pride and togetherness among those here. Mr. Phillips was speaking during an event at Sharad's Bar and Grill, where St. Lucie passed the baton to St. Peter, which will host its regathering activities this month.
Of course, with everything that you have, you would you have your the little hiccups and so on. But as we move into the month, everything just fell into place, and it was certainly an exciting month. It was a month where we were able to showcase a number of things, businesses and so on in St. Lucie, and it was a month that people really enjoyed. From every event that we had, the attendance was a good attendance.
Mr. Phillips says it was a pleasure to see people who left the parish many years ago returning to engage in its regathering activities.
You got persons coming who had left St. Lucie from childhood in some instances, for one reason or another, that went to another parish to live. We invited them to come back home, whether they were living in St. George, Christchurch, St. Thomas, or wherever. Come back home to the place of your birth, the place where you grew up, and see the changes that would have taken place, and see how St. Lucie would have been developed.
Scores flocked to Sharad's Bar and Grill at Bentham, St. Lucie for a karaoke and lime session to mark the ending of St. Lucie's official regathering activities and the beginning of St. Peter's. Owner Shaquille Jordan, who is happy to benefit from the increased business, says lots were in store for patrons.
A few minutes, you're going to see some live entertainment with a fire eater performer. We also have Mount Gay giving away some prizes when the patrons purchase.
And according to resident Joanne Jordan, St. Lucie has set high standards for St. Peter to follow.
We are setting the precedents. We are setting the standards. So from here going forward, St. Peter, you better watch out and you better come good.
Right, got it right.
Mr. Phillips is thanking members of the parish's Regathering 2025 committee and other stakeholders for their contribution to the initiative. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Well, St. Lucie has certainly set the bar high. From St. Lucie to St. Peter, the fun, Food, fellowship and festivities continued with a special queue in the community at Hayman's Market to commence the regathering events planned for that parish.
Scores took to the dance floor at Hayman's Market for a special edition of Q in the Community. It is one of the activities held to kick off St. Peter's Gatherin 2025 activities. Chair of the St. Peter Parish Organizing Committee, Jacqueline Gill, says the hundreds at Q signals a good start for her parish's month-long activities.
We see lots of people, they seem to be enjoying, they're happy, and that's what Gatherin is all about. It's all about people coming together to enjoy each other's company, and we look forward to more of these types of activities.
Operations Manager at Hayman's Market, Jacob Weatherhead, says this is the first time the market is hosting Q, and he hopes it will not be the last.
You know, very happy to see the crowds here today. We've seen people who've never been here before, many people who have been here before, so it's great to just get the word out that, you know, Hayman's Market is here, and we hope to see people keep rolling through.
Q100 radio presenter Kimberly Skeet says the event has been going well.
There is the vibe, there is the vista, and there is you, the people who make Q what it is. But what's even more important, it is the Barbadian people that believe in the spirit of Barbados. And from all 11 parishes nestled right here in the community, Hayman's Market in St. Peter, for the start of another wonderful journey of Regathering 2025.
St. Peter resident Lorna Pooler says from the time she landed at the event, she has been running into relatives and friends she has not seen in many years. Ms. Pooler says being at Hayman's brings back childhood memories.
And I can remember we walking up all that road up there to come to Hayman's, to break canes and go back home. So I'm quite familiar with the area.
Barbadians are being encouraged to celebrate St. Peter at its marquee event, Spice Tongue Alive, next Saturday. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
St. Peter, one of the most picturesque parishes in Barbados, now has its moment in the spotlight, focusing on its history, its vibrant culture, and its deep connection to the island's heritage. During the month of February, the parish will highlight its long-standing traditions, its community values, and its significant contributions to our Barbadian society. From fun-filled events to moments of reflection, the month is offering something for everyone. One notable occasion is the special church service which took place at St. Philip the Less Anglican Church, where the community gathered in faith to honor the parish's heritage.
Then shall I bow in humble adoration and bend. This is my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know, yes I know he.
The priest in charge of the St. Philip the Less Anglican Church, Reverend Reginald Knight, thank them very much for allowing us to share in this space and in this act of worship. I recognize Senior Ministers Simmons and Duguid, Minister Monroe Knight, the President of the Senate, Senator Reginald Farley, the Most Honorable Reginald Farley, Senator John King, members of Parliament Phillips, who we took over from, Ford, who we will hand over to, Hinkson, my neighbor to the south, and Moore, who you may not know, but is a friend of this church. She has connections to this church, and maybe the warden will tell you that when he gives. Oh, you didn't know it? No, you get it. Okay. We are here at the St. Philip the Less Anglican Church. Almost 165 years. Next month will be 165 years since it was dedicated by the second Bishop of Barbados, Thomas Parry. And as we celebrate heritage, this is important for us because in February, Coleridge and Parry, our school, St. Peter Secondary School, yes, Mr. Adams, Coleridge and Parry, celebrates its Amalgamation Week. And so the connection with Thomas Parry, who started the Parry School in St. Lucie, is very real for us in St. Peter. He started the school in St. Lucie. He consecrated and dedicated this church 165 years ago. And to answer one of the questions from Reverend Knight in terms of what is our vision, I'm going to share a slogan, maybe that he is familiar with. The rural dean is very familiar with it. And that theme, that vision for Spikestone for St. Peter, still standing, but not standing still. Still standing, but not standing still. I actually thought I would have heard that on the Sunday after Christmas when I was here, when the bishop was here. But our theme of heritage is one that is very important, one that recognizes St. Peter's role in the development of this country, the spiritual, the natural, and the physical development of this country. And all that we will celebrate and some of what I will share with you could not be done just like that. And I really must recognize a number of people who have been instrumental in assisting us with developing and executing our month of activities. I use this opportunity to thank Senator the Honorable Chantal Morrow-Knight and Senator John King. Mrs. King is also here with us. Thank you very much, ma'am. Members of the Regathering Implementation Unit, Ms. Sophia Graves, who is, no, I see her. I wanted to say something that she sometimes gets a little embarrassed when I say, but she is Senior Minister Simmons and Minister Morrow-Knight, a St. Peter person, hailing from Six Mains. I just thought I would share that with you. Members of the Parish Organizing Committee and members of the Parish Independence Committee, and I see the Parish Independence Committee here in full force. Thank you very much to all of you. The churches in the area, the youth groups, persons from the media, the professionals from the media. I think I, at this point, should ask the members of the Parish Organizing Committee who are here to stand, and the members of the Parish Independence Committee. The Parish Organizing Committee and the Parish Independence Committee. These are a group, thank you very much, a group of hard-working people. I ask both to stand because in St. Peter we have a practice of doing things together. Gathering for us is not a slogan. We do things together, and so you will find that the Parish Organizing Committee is fully in concert with the Parish Independence Committee and vice versa. And so sometimes I find it necessary to say that because not everybody understands house schoolkeeping in St. Peter, Mr. Adams. I'm saying that to a former principal. We are also very thankful to the members of the Barbados Police Service, and we recognize the loss of our PRO, and even in our celebration, take time to recognize that. We, as you know, in our celebration, are also recognizing the loss of former Station Sergeant Newton Lewis, after whom we have named our road tennis activity. So we commiserate with you at this time. And we are very, very happy you shared with us some escorts who allowed the Heritage Walk yesterday morning to take place. So we're very happy about that. We're thankful also to the National Cultural Foundation, working really assiduously. They've taken our schematic, so to speak, and have fleshed it out so that we will have an excellent Speightstown Alive on the 8th. We've had a great start to our month. Our Heritage Breakfast Walk, very well attended, very well enjoyed yesterday morning. We had our queue in the community. People, I believe some enjoyed themselves so much that they are not here today. But we had an excellent queue in the community at Hayman's Market. Now, I'll share briefly some of our upcoming events. Roots and Branches Art Exhibition, we launched that today. That takes place for the entire month, from Monday to Friday, but there is more information that you can get. In concert with our theme of heritage, we are celebrating the life of the late Dr. Dorothy Cook Johnson, who started the Barbados Cancer Society, who was a St. Peter person, and who is buried along with her husband at the St. Peter Parish Church. We celebrate St. Peter on the Water, Peter, the fisherman associated with water. We celebrate St. Peter on the Water in Six Mains. Six Mains is the authentic fishing village in Barbados. I say that not just to this audience, but all those who are following online so that they understand school keeping. The authentic fishing village in Barbados. And so all things maritime will be celebrated in Six Mains. We have a number of shop lines. We expect to have one in Indian Ground, a number of them in Speightstown. I spoke to the Newton Lewis Memorial Road Tennis and the Friday Lines. Reverend Knight asks, what are we doing to ensure that the next generation understands the struggle, understands where we've come from? And I share with him that we will have some presentations at our schools, all 7 of them, 5 primary and 2 secondary, presentations on some of our heroes. There are so many heroes coming out of St. Peter, but we present on Sir Elliot Belgrave, we present on Owen Arthur, we present on the Right Honourable, the Most Excellent, Sir Frank Leslie Walcott, we present on Pearson Jordan, we present on Kieran Husbands, we present on Gordon Greenwich, just to name some of them. And Bishop Rufus Broom, I forgot, at Coldrum Parry. And so we are sharing with our young people some of the work that people who have come before them have done. I will also share with you, Reverend Knight, that we also celebrate the life and work and influence of Eard Atherley, a very important part of the St. Peter fabric, worked really, really hard with the Parish Independence Committee, as well as the Parish Organizing Committee in 2020. We recognize him with a schools quiz, and we'll have that quiz in our schools. We have Standpipe Stories, we have Restaurant Week. We have in Boscobel, and I want to invite everybody from Boscobel to attend. Boscobel is central to the story of resistance and struggle in Barbados. Of the martyrs of the 1937 uprising, the second largest number were from St. Peter, and 3 out of those 4 were from Boscobel. And so we have also a part of the potato riots taking place here in Boscobel. There's a lot about resistance in Barbados, but in St. Peter, right here in Boscobel, many chapters of Marcus Garvey's United Negro Improvement Association in the Boscobel area. We have Gospel Gathering at Alexandria. We have Gathering on the Hill, an old-time family picnic, which we invite all of you to. Speightstown Alive, celebrating our connection with Cape Coast and Bristol. I'm going to stop. You realize by now that we have a full calendar, and I have not called all of our events. And I don't intend to recreate this sermon. I just give you a taste so that you understand that St. Peter will be representing well with respect to the gathering. It will not be only about jump up, and I say that very clearly based on a few of the slightly unsavory things that I've heard. This will be a mix of jump up and celebration, of learning, of mixing. This will be a balanced program so that the people of St. Peter the people of Barbados, the diaspora, the world is able to understand, recognize, and appreciate the significant heritage that is St. Peter. I encourage you to be part of our celebration. I encourage you to enjoy, to learn, to celebrate as we gather. Thank you very much, and may God continue to bless all of us.
To my heart was the blood applied. Sing, church. Glory to his name. Hallelujah.
I want to begin this morning by, first of all, acknowledging the presence of Reverend Canon Beverly Seeley Knight, who obviously would have had to have done some rearranging of her ordinary schedule in order to be here with us today. And Canon Beverly, I am touched and honored by that effort. I want to thank you, Reverend Reginald Knight, for your very warm reception to the regathering, let's loosely say Secretariat and Committee, but to all of us who are visitors here to this church. And it has truly been, up to this point, a very inspirational ceremony. Canon Beverly, I perhaps should begin by saying that I address what I'm about to say more to you than to Reverend Reginald, because I suspect he doesn't know much about these things. Around 4 or so this morning, I would have been up and preparing my family's Sunday lunch. I was preparing the stuffing and baking the chicken. And what happened with y'all? You don't feel that I know a little bit about these things, and I ain't getting a store-bought stuffing. I take the bread and I crumble it, and I use my onions and my celery. But he doesn't want me to talk. He doesn't. What is it about Reverend Knight that he would not allow me to speak? But I was doing that in preparation for a luncheon that we have, and all that time the wife was in bed sleeping, by the way. Doing that in preparation for a luncheon that we have later on this afternoon. And I have some family in the island, to be absolutely candid with you. And this is their first visit for this year. The intention is for my aunt and her kids to come back, but they want to come back with a larger group of friends who are from the United States. And I think at this point they're talking about 30-somebody people. And I start there by saying that there is a tremendous interest beginning to be galvanized. And it is important that we begin by recognizing that it can only happen successfully if we put God first. It is very important for us to remember, I believe it is the injunction given to us in Psalm 127 that says that unless God is building a house, those who labor will be laboring in vain. And unless God guards a city, those who are guarding will themselves be guarding in vain. And we have, therefore, I was reflecting this morning on the fact that we began in St. Peter on the very first Sunday in St. Peter with a moment of worship such as this, in St. Lucy. And we are here in St. Peter again doing this same thing, beginning with a period of worship, which I think is the very best way to begin this process. Now, it is important to recognize, I think, that there have been some obvious opportunities for this country to benefit as a result of the regathering. Reverend Knight, it would be remiss of me in any way to use your tabernacle as a place to make even a statement or a speech that even begins to appear political. But I believe that I can speak to current affairs. And unfortunately, when we left St. Lucy Parish Church last month, there was a calling program going on at the time, and the regathering was being pronounced dead even before it had properly had a chance to start. And I believe that it is important for us to put to rest these rumors that Regathering has passed away. These rumors are ill-founded and far from any sort of truth. The fact is that I think the High Commissioner to Canada, Glenn Clark, would have indicated late in December that there was tremendous expressions of interest from Canada and from Barbadians residing in Canada with respect to participation in Regathering. I am happy to say that the reports out of the United Kingdom are very similar, but I am most impressed by what I see happening out of the United States of America. And it may well be that this goes beyond the effort of the government and people of Barbados, but it may be that we have some unexpected assistance from President Trump. But God bless him if that is the case. Every cloud has a silver lining. But there are in Atlanta at least 3, if not 4, Barbadian associations who are seriously interested in bringing a large group into Barbados during the course of this year. And they're looking at successive months. And the reach out to us has been how we can coordinate and find rooms and accommodation for hundreds of people. That is the kind of response we're getting from Atlanta. Similarly in Cincinnati, similarly in Boston, similarly in New York City. And those are good things. I think you, Minister Jordan, because of your ministerial responsibility for the non-governmental organizations and the so-called third partnership, third sector, you would be interested to hear that a lot of these associations that are reaching out to us are also expressing an interest in making charitable contributions to Barbados. And they're identifying areas where we, as the Barbadian community, know already that there is need. For example, the polyclinics. How can they contribute to the polyclinics? How can we make it easier for them to make donations? That is the kind of questions we're getting. And similarly to the Cancer Society, for example, there's a lot of expression of interest in the Heart Foundation and the Cancer Society. And these are good things. In addition to that, there's also been expressions of interest with respect to our businesses and our business communities. And Minister Jordan just referenced the point at which he ended. He made reference to the twinning of Speightstown with Bristol and with the Cape Coast in Ghana. I want to say to you that there's some benefit in that. We have also twinned parts of Barbados with the Carolinas. And the business community in the Carolinas have an interest in participating in Regathering so that we can strengthen business relationships and Chamber of Commerce, interfacing with Chamber of Commerce here, and so that ideas and best practices can be shared. And that too is a very good thing. I feel that I must agree with Minister Jordan. Reverend Knight cried out for a response when he challenged us to answer the question, what is it that we are urging our young people to look towards? And I am happy to be part of a cabinet that does not shy away from challenges. And I will respond to that challenge here and now, Reverend Knight. We, beyond the fetting, beyond the partying, etc., we feel very strongly that this regathering opportunity must be an exercise within which we as the Barbadian people reinvest in our country, and that we invite those from overseas also to reinvest in this country. And I say that to you very seriously. Superimposed on the calendar for St. Lucie, because it was not originally the work of the Parish Organizing Committee, was an exercise that I attended last Wednesday evening in St. Lucie, where we had what was simply called an ideas forum. A simple concept, but it was the most beautiful thing that I have experienced in Barbados in a long time. And I will tell you why. We all know, we listen to the calling programs, and we know that this country has escalated and elevated the art of complaining almost to industrial scale. If we could get foreign exchange from complaining, we would be sitting pretty. The reality is that what happened on Wednesday night in St. Lucie was not about complaining, but about people from the parish of St. Lucie coming to that forum to share their vision for their parish, their vision for their communities in the parish, and ideas as to how to make that parish thrive, and by extension, how to make Barbados a better place. And there were very well thought out, very well delivered suggestions and solutions. The idea which I think confronts all of us, we know is there, but we've never fixed it, that St. Lucie straddles two coasts of this island, the west coast and the north, yes, and east, three. But to make it a parish within which people can easily contact one another, there has to be a better way of inter-parish transportation being found. Otherwise, even though you live in the same parish, you find yourself having to go to a distant point out of the parish and sometimes down to Bridgetown in order to get to another part of St. Lucie. And the consequences that that had for young children in the area, their ability to be familiar with neighboring districts, the ability to play sports competitively within the parish, schooling, and the sustainability of some of the schools in the parish, which we have seen in the recent news reports, have dwindled in some cases to below 60 children in one school, a school which was originally built to house several hundred. These are real problems, and people from the parish came with real solutions. And let me say to you that one of the brilliant ideas that came out of St. Lucie was the development of what they call the parish economy. And it is something that we have to give serious thought to. You know, local government does not exist in Barbados. It exists in several other parts of the world. But the absence of local government doesn't mean you don't have local ideas and local vision. And we have to understand that to answer Reverend Knight's question, our young people must now feel that the democracy that they inherit is not just a democracy where you go and you cast a ballot in a polling booth once every 4 or 5 years, but rather it is a democracy which gives voice to those people who have vision and ideas and want to participate, but might otherwise be voiceless, and that we must find ways creatively to empower them. And that is where we want to, as I said, superimpose this opportunity onto the St. Peter calendar, and frankly, then build it into the St. Thomas calendar and every other calendar for the rest of this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to say those few words. One, that the rumors of the demise of Gatherin are very, very, very premature and ill-placed. And secondly, that there is a tremendous feedback coming through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs about the interest of the Barbadian communities overseas, and especially and perhaps surprisingly, the intensity of the urge of Barbadians in the United States to use this as an opportunity to reconnect. And as I indicated, if this is in part because of the change of climate, shall we say, in the United States of America, then there is a silver lining to that cloud, and we give thanks. And last but by no means least, that this regathering opportunity must also be an opportunity for reinvestment in the parishes and in the communities of this country, and that that reinvestment be led by you, the people of the parish. And you will have a very responsive ear of the government. We were moved by what we heard from St. Lucie, and immediately at Cabinet on Thursday, not telling any secrets out of school, but Senior Minister Duguid will confirm, as will other Cabinet colleagues here, that the Prime Minister has required, not requested, required that a lot of the ideas which have been taken down be now addressed and distributed out to the relevant government departments for their immediate attention. I wanted to thank the colleagues of mine from the Cabinet for attending and participating here today and lending support. I also want to thank the President of the Senate and all the other senators who are here for participating and lending their support. And I want to offer you my very best wishes for a very successful month here in St. Peter. Thank you very much.
St. Peter's ongoing celebration is highlighting its pride in its past while embracing a bright future of unity and growth. As Gathering events continue, these celebrations are not only strengthening local communities, but also reaffirming the cultural and historical ties that bind us together as Barbadians. I'm Joshua Hinkson. Thanks for your time.
3, 2, 1.